not allow you to revert to the dark days. This is your morning platform, Hot Morning Live. We are privileged to have the former LPP president, now presidential hopeful, Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, as our guest on the second segment of your morning platform. Officially, we will go straight to the councillor, the London councillor, to welcome into this morning's platform. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be across from you for the second time. This is my second time coming here. Let me make a special request based upon what is trending in the press. You play music. I want you to play Takunje's music. You lie to us.
Okay, all right. I almost played it on the break, but it didn't come true when I was trying to tap it. So your request now
it's going to set the tone.
Yeah.
For this discussion.
Okay, that's it.
Who is lying, the American ambassador or the government library?
Okay, so this is it. I play a request. This is it.
Promises that let us go our damages. The letter with their speech they preach indeed and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow their tendencies to be? See, just tell you that why we will tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and little abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But at the question that we ask, the people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, they betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. My people don't want to hope on. My hope that I have them broken. I'm telling you. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the dogs that they said they were for? But they do such a shit. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betrayed. They have enough for time, but they're just scared they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Go back. The vision and your mission, your intention, your nation is war. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But at the question that we ask, they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can lie.
What's this question here? We can start now.
With their promises that let us go our damages. The letter with their speech they preach indeed and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow their tendencies to be? See, just tell you that why we will tell you. When you fool us, you screw us, you use us and little abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? the question that we ask people to us, the people who lie to us, the government betrayed us, they betrayed us so much. I said they lie. The people who us, the people who lie to us, the government betrayed us.
The Lie, the Die, the song arranged and produced by a Liberian Jonathan Kofa, requested for by our guest, and he's up already here. And so we say again, welcome back, and let's go straight over to Presidential Hopeful Councillor Gongloe. Councillor Gongloe, how's it has been?
It's great. I'm very optimistic about my chances of winning. I've been all over the country. And let me confirm that everything the ambassador said in his letter is correct. Everything he said is correct. I have been all over the country. I've seen the health condition. I've seen the condition of our schools. No medicine in the hospitals and clinics around the country. Starting with JFK. Why should people, be defending instead of taking what the ambassador said as a cue to change the course of governance in this country? Right at JFK, when you go there, they give you prescription and say, go to Lucky Pharmacy across the road. Right in Monrovia, the health system is broken down. There's no question about it. So the ambassador is saying the truth and the government is lying. Just as the government has been lying ever since. I can confirm what the ambassador said. Go to the president's mother's town, Bakwai town. Bakwai town is across the Cestus River. You see abject poverty. The people have some kind of school they build with sticks there themselves. No government intervention. Go to Bojezie town in River Cess. Go to Bokeza in Lofa. Go to Bewan. Go to Sastan, the president's own town. Go to Wajiken in Grand Cru. Go to Pines Town. All over the country. Go to Heronstown. Go all over the place. Everything that the ambassador said, you will see. But you know what? If people say the Monrovia, they don't go around. The Minister of Information cannot compare his record of travel around the country with the ambassador. The president cannot do it. There's nobody in this government that can compare his or her record of travel with the record of travel of the ambassador. The ambassador
Why do you think so? When they are Liberians and they normally go and they have bigger tax.
Let me tell you, people sit here. They don't go around. There are some people in this presidential race, for example, who are for the first time crossing Banga to go to other parts of the country. I teach in the law school. One time I asked a student, have you been to Ganta? He said, no, I've never crossed Kakata. And this student was about 40 years old. So there are people who live in Monrovia who have not been to Kakata. They've been out of the country, they've been to the United States, they've been to other parts of the world, but they will tell you the only part of Margipi they know is Roberts Field.
But some people say you don't have to go there before you know what's happening there. Sometimes you don't go to a country, but
That's
you
wrong.
read about a country and know what has been done in that specific country you have read about.
What you see and what you read cannot compete. What you see, seeing is better. Seeing is believing. It never said writing is believing. Because most times, English is difficult. The way you describe the words you use may not give the proper impression, the reality to the reader. It depends on the adjectives you use and all of that. So what you see is stronger than what you read. Many people said, yeah, they don't go around the country. I have gone around the country because, when I decided to run for the presidency, I said, but you cannot solve a problem you don't know. I will have to go all over the country and see the conditions under which people are living. And I have even experienced the conditions. Look, a convoy passed by me when I was stuck in the mud between Kilipo Kanweken and Bebo Kanweken in River G. Kilipo Kanweken to Bebo Kanweken in normal time, when the road is good, is 20 to 30 minutes. Because I've been on that road since 1979.
Okay.
In 1979, I was a student leader when the university was closed after April 14.
Did we have a good road then?
Very good road. Very, very good road.
And what happened? You
could do 70 miles per hour at that time on the laterite road. You see, when Tubman built the road from Carisburg to Kepamus, he put polywork yards along the road. When he built the road to Vonjama and to Foya, he put polywork yards on the road. The polywork yards were a place where you had yellow machines, dump trucks, and all of that. And in the dry season, the polyworks used to use those machines to rehabilitate the roads having been destroyed during the rainy season by building gutters and all of that. So that during the rainy season, the roads were well drained. I never one day heard growing up in this country that the road from Banga to Vonjama was cut off, or the road from Tapata to Zwedru was cut off. I lived in Tapata. I grew up I did my first and second grade in Tapata, and then later on 5th grade to 7th grade. And the roads were good. The only thing we complained about in the interior at that time was dust, but the roads were good. For example, 1979, I went to Kepamas to do student activity work. I was national president of the YCS, Young Christian Student Movement. And President Pro Tem Chair knows about it because that year he was in the 11th grade. His brother was in the 12th grade. And I wanted to do some extension work. When I finished my work, this was July or August. Obviously, it was during the rainy season.
Okay.
But April 14 took place just on the verge of the rainy season. That's April 14. And so, when I finished my work, that time Sister Lorraine Brown was the principal of Fatima.
Okay. I
took taxi downtown Harper, 6 o'clock in the morning. By 9 p.m., I was in Monrovia. It cannot happen these days. It cannot happen these days. It takes a week.
In morning time, it still cannot happen.
I am saying the roads were better in 1979 than they are today. Why? Because they were well maintained. Honor Tubman, Honor Toba, and Honor Do. This government came, and they shouldn't have any excuse. They came with a popular and very attractive slogan: change for hope. But the reality is, and as the Ambassador clearly pointed out, the reality is that this change has brought hopelessness and despair on happiness.
With all of the tangible, the government continue to catalog.
Well, they keep lying to us. For example, the Minister of Finance, who is probably hearing me now, said to this country boastfully, the 14 military hospital is the best in West Africa. It is the state of the art. Then God moved from behind. God has a way of teaching people. So he and the wife went to Lofa and were coming by in a car accident. I expected him to go to 14 military. But he left and went to, he and his wife went to Turkey. And see how wicked they are. They left the driver and the security who were in the same vehicle and were also affected. At JFK, that they know is called just for killing because they don't have drugs. They always prescribe and send you across the road to Lucky Pharmacy. That is a clear lie. Now, so let me talk about Kilipo Kanweken and Bebo Kanweken. So I was going around on my outreach program to motivate people to register to vote. Yeah. On voter registration thing. And then I finished my program in Kilipo Kanweken at 5 o'clock. I sent a motorcyclist ahead to tell the people that I would be there at 6 o'clock. It's a 30-minute route, but I want to give myself a chance.
Okay.
I didn't know what was awaiting me. We were carrying a 3-car convoy.
You didn't know the road was dilapidated?
I didn't. I had been on the Bearer road coming because, you know, in Grand Gillette, between Zaita.
But are these are places that government have normally talked about doing massive work. Whenever you follow the government updates on connectivity of roads, these areas are named.
So I'm
quite surprised.
But that's what I'm telling you. That's what you read. That's what you heard. What I saw is different from what you have heard. Between Guainta and Zaita in Grand Gillette County, the road is so bad that you have to climb on the bank of the road. We had to let our 3 cars climb on the bank of the road, and every passenger got there except the driver. The end of the car vehicles could have fallen. People were there. They said, we've been here for 1 week, stuck in the mud. A tanker, several trucks, a trailer that probably carried calipers, and all of them stuck in the mud. We passed by them. So I thought there was a chance for me to pass by this other place. We got to, when we went...
And what car was he using?
I was using...
were you using one of these small
cars? No, Toyota Land Cruiser Jeep.
Okay.
I was using a charter Toyota Hilo pickup.
Okay.
And then I had Toyota Sequoia. Is a V8.
V8, yeah.
But it's really good. It's strong.
It's built for Bearer.
Yeah. So we could have passed. But there were about 20 trucks stuck in the mud. Tankers, Aminata tanker and some other tankers, then huge, big trucks. So unless the car had capacity to fly over, we couldn't pass. So I rolled up my trousers. I'm a roller boy. I rolled up my trousers, took off my shoes, and walk in the mud, cross the mud, thinking that somehow, because they were making an attempt to clear the road. I said, maybe in an hour or so, we'll clear the road. I said, worry again, we'll soon be there. To the point people come again, because I didn't want them to wait that long. My brother, I waited. Normally I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I waited around 9 o'clock. I said, well, I was standing up talking. I said, let me sit down, pick leaves, and put them on the ground. I was sitting. I do not remember when I passed out. I just started sleeping on the road like in my bedroom. And I could have been bitten by a snake. That's the risk that people are exposed to when you have bad road.
Okay.
What I prepared for, my wife said, boy, why you didn't carry a comforter? I said, I didn't expect to sleep on the roadside. I carry shovels, I carry axes. Because if a law crosses, we probably will cut it. And then we'll carry a shovel. At one point, I helped to shovel on one of the bar roads, but what was ahead was worse. It was not until 12:30 when this young man in the studio came and nagged me. Daddy, the cars have passed. 12:30 in the night, I woke up. I didn't even know I was sleeping. I thought I was in my bed. I was take darkness. I could have been, because it's in the night that the snakes can crawl. I could have been.
It was huge bush zone.
I could have been killed. And I was in the forest, in the swamp. So, we managed to leave that place. We reached Kilipo Kanwika 1 a.m. in the morning on a 30-minute road. 1 a.m. in the morning. So, we went and slept in a place called Duake in River G. And the people were still waiting for us up to 1:30 when we arrived there. And then we went to bed the next morning. We had our program in Duake. We came to Kanwika and had our program. We experienced bad roads everywhere, including going to the president's town, Southtown, very bad road. Bois Jiken in Grand Cru, bad road. Philadelphia, bad road. And what are they doing? These people are wicked.
But it's a stone age thing, and to have those things fenced, it doesn't take few years. It's a long time, the Richmond, a long time plan.
I'm saying,
so why would you want to think that government should in 5 years have all of those places paved to have an easy access?
No, I'm not talking about pavement.
What are you talking about?
Didn't have the road paved, Toba didn't have it paved, Do didn't have it paved. But they were maintained. I'm talking about routine maintenance. Routine maintenance is a function of government. You can contract, you can give a contract for pavement.
Okay.
But to maintain the roads so that human beings and goods can move freely is a normal function of government. Right now, the government is violating the rights of Liberian people to freely move through our country.
How they do it?
When you don't maintain the road and people are stuck in the mud, and also, when I lying there, I thought about two things. I said, so bad road can undermine peace and security. What if Ivory Coast attacked us today? How do we move troops? We will be defeated right here. And then I said, so if you have the fastest moving ambulance in Kilipo Kanwike and the bigger hospitals in Bepo Kanwike, you will die right here. You will come here and get stuck here at the mall for 8 hours and you will die right in the car. Even though you could be killed at the other clinic. So, and then also, I said to myself, bad road multiplies poverty. Imagine you have your planting farm in let me call some of the time, in Bewan, or even in Kaloke where I slept, or in Tubake, or Sidikin, and your whole planting farm, you harvest your planting, and you say, I'm carrying a truckload of planting to Monrovia to Gobachop to sell. And you go to a shop owner and say, credit me money. I'll contact Monrovia, I'll sell my planting and bring your money next week. You fill the truck with planting, you get to the mud between Kilipo Kanwike and Bepo Kanwike. You stay there 10 days because some trucks said they have been there 8 days. Your planting will get ripe and get rotting, and you will come back and get poorer because the person you borrow the money from, or whether that is Susu Club, will tell you, I don't care whether you're planting get rotting, I'm not government, that's not my business, give my money back. You will collect all of your savings, pay that debt, and if it's not enough, you might have to go and borrow money from someone to pay that debt, or sell things that belong to you to pay that debt. Then you have become poorer. So when you have a bad rule like this, it undermines the proper policy. It multiplies poverty rather than reducing poverty. And that is what this government is doing.
When you were one staring the face of the country currently, what would you have done to have a quick impact to remedy the situation that you face?
I will put 10 caterpillars on that road between Ganta and Fishtown where the...
How do you source the money? It's capital intensive.
We have money here. No, our problem in Liberia
now.
Listen to me. Yeah. Our problem in Liberia now it's not that we don't have money. It's the mismanagement of our money by the government in power. Here is the evidence. Do you believe that Liberia, a begging nation that even begs other African countries, begs the African Development Bank, begs IMF, World Bank, begs the United States to give us money, has a situation whereby the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Liberia makes $245,000 per annum. And if you add the $30,000 that he received last year, that would be $275,000 that he received last year and the year before. The Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States Congress makes $223,000. Go check it out. In my view, it is scandalous. How can a Speaker of the House of Representatives of a begging nation or poor nation in Liberia be making higher money per annum as salary than the Speaker of the United States?
So that validates the U.S. Department
of course. When you say they don't care for their people, but you think that is bad enough? Listen to this one. The President pro tem, our chair, whose country is so underdeveloped, people are living in abject poverty, is making, last year, he made his salary was $254,000 per annum. When you add the $30,000 that he got last year and before, it becomes $284,000. $284,000. Guess what? The President pro tem of the United States Senate makes $193,000 per annum. Isn't it scandalous? How wicked can these people be? I mean, that is what we know.
That's the point of government.
It is terrible. You
they make the laws.
That should be
so even if you are elected, you cannot.
We will reduce the salary.
How do you do it?
I'm a lawyer. We will reduce it.
They are the first branch of government. And so how do you do it?
Don't worry. I'm a lawyer. We'll do it. We'll take our case. They are the first branch of government. But nobody surpasses the Liberian people. The Liberian people power resides in the Liberian people. The people have their power continuously. The lawmakers are the people's deputies. I will take my case to the Liberian people. I will reduce those salaries and take my case to the Liberian people. If they don't want to do it, the Liberian people will be running behind them, because I will take the case from county to county and say these people are wicked. The money they are making could be used to improve our medical system, our educational system. I travel around the country like the ambassador. Let me tell you, you have many schools. Majority of the schools in the rural area are run by volunteer teachers who have no commitment to ministerial education. Either they are hired by the people in the town, or they themselves come voluntarily and say, I'm not working, I'm a high school graduate, let me teach in elementary school, I'm a college graduate, I don't get a job, let me be teaching here. No commitment. Whether they go by the curriculum, nobody monitors and supervises them because they are there voluntarily. That is killing the system. Only because the government says it doesn't have money. And then it doesn't make good decisions. You say you're going to take care of our education system, you're going to do everything to elevate us. If you know you didn't have money to hire new teachers, why did you pension all of the trained teachers? And they are in the town. Some of the volunteer teachers, like in Krakawa Town, in Bon County, is the former principal of the school. He said, I can't sit here and see the school going on. The children are from this town, so I'm volunteering to teach them. Whether I get paid or not, I just want to be teaching there. That is the reality in the country.
Yeah, this specific line is captured in the ambassador's session made, or his survey done in Liberia, that you talk about the health sector and you are talking about the education sector. So, but there are money being placed in the budget, in the fiscal budget, that is even being serviced, but it doesn't go down to those institutions that are in the leeward counties. So
what I've heard, and you journalists need to do investigation on this, is that during the budgetary process, these lawmakers put money in different sectors of the economy through the different ministries. And as soon as the budget passes, they front load that money, they take it for them. They say, Minister, I'm putting $1 million here, but enough for you. And then they take it. Immediately the budget passes, they take it. And that is what today.
They enforce squarely on the executive, because it is the executive that brings the bill, and the lawmakers look
so
at it.
I will never sign something that is so clearly corrupt in nature. But then when you ask the lawmaker the day, but the president got your own. So they conspire to steal and make us suffer. And a complete, what is happening is a complete insensitive, reckless negligence of duty. It boils down to wickedness. That's all I can say. And now we're going to election. What they're doing? People are catching hard time. No good road to carry their goods to the market. They're getting poorer. So CDC, the higher up in CDC, the president and vice president are giving $9 million to smaller countries in southeastern Liberia. You haven't heard about it. They are dumping $9 million Liberian in each of the countries. And then they're giving big county like Nima County $15 million. They are giving money all around. See the other level of wickedness. First, I'm calling upon the United States government, if the ambassador is hearing me, to sanction the president and vice president and the officials of the CDC for pay for play. You gotta be fair.
What's your reliance? What's your reliance to that?
The reliance is they are dumping.
They
are dumping money on the.
How are they doing? How did you get to know?
Oh, you don't know it's public. It's not hitting. This is a PR they are doing. They're giving $9 million to the go investigate. Call people in Maryland now. They are giving $9 million and some people getting three. The ordinary people getting it.
Have people admitted to you? Have people admitted to you of doing such?
CDC will not. I'm challenging CDC to come on the line and deny that they are giving $9 million. They are not denying. You know.
What's the intent?
You are not bereaved.
What is the intent?
Don't cry for the bereaved.
What's the intent? What are they doing it for? What do you?
It is pay for play to motivate the people to vote for them. That is called pay for play.
Has been promised that look, we will improve. We cheap things back to mattresses.
Why?
And they try to do what they promised.
No. It's pay for play. They already lied to the people. It's in the evening hour. This government has been discredited. In fact, I don't even think that President George Weah is a competitor in this race. He's gone. The people finished with him. Let me tell you something. McGill was sanctioned because...
Do you see yourself as a competitor? Because you say you don't see President Weah. So are you seeing yourself as a major competitor in the upcoming election?
I am. The election is not qualitative.
Now you haven't even announced your running mate yet.
No,
and we are in
I'm a lawyer. I will do it within the scope of the law. I will not exceed the time, so don't worry about that.
Have you also considered, Council, have you also considered the Cuban factor in this electioneering period?
Yes.
I think to say George Weah is now a factor as...
I have considered, in fact, the expectation of the Liberian pool is so high. And the failure, where we have failed, the Liberian pool will have considered other people. Look at the area of sports.
Okay.
The young people were so excited. I heard them saying, Messi and Ronaldo will come to play in Liberia. European clubs will come to play here. There will be so many international players. There will be football academy in all of the counties. That was the people's expectation. And he himself strengthened by saying he will build stadium in the various counties. Now, football has received the least attention when it comes to sports. Why do I say so? Look, last year, I felt bad as a Liberian that Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast qualified for the Cup of Nations. But the country headed by a football hero, world football hero, did not qualify. Then they declare, in fact, small Gambia won quarterfinal. Not only did Gambia qualify, it won quarterfinal. A Barrow is not a footballer. Then our national stadium was declared unfit for playing international football. Then they closed it down. They were forced to repair. They've done some, and now it's qualified. But for us to get even that mark, and I tell the young people vote against the government. I say, if George Weah can measurably fail in his area of expertise, I don't expect him to succeed in the area of education.
How could you say that when there are current works going on West Point? Have you gone to West Point Sports Page? Have you gone to Dole Community? Have you gone to New Town, the D2FE? There are renovation work. They are up to standard, mini stadiums being built, up to state of the art. There is a sports park under this leadership as well, Council. How will you say there has not been effort exerted by President Weah, a footballing president would like to say, in terms of sports?
I just told you that we failed where Guinea, Sierra Leone, and other people succeeded. This last minute thing that is happening is not going to, you know, one of the reasons people got angry with Togo is doing well. But after 133 years of the three-party rule, the anger level has gone so much that whatever he was doing, did not undermine the anger, it did not reduce the anger. People have already, by the end of last year, people are already giving up on this government. In fact, people give up.
So even if the thing wanted to warn now,
it's late. It's late. Look, what happened to Darius Dillon in this country? He did well, he campaigned all over, but it was a rejection of George Weah in Monrovia. Actually, it was George Weah that was defeated by Darius Dillon in the two elections. There's no question about that. And what is happening outside Monrovia is worse than what people experience in Liberia.
Do you think so?
I know that.
Are you optimistic
I know that.
Changed
I know that.
Winning 14 counties in the last election?
I know.
To winning none this time around?
Let me tell you, the 14 counties, the people were so enthusiastic about this president. Maybe they even overrated his performance. To the extent that what he's doing is like an oasis in the desert. You know, oasis, when you travel in a desert, small pond somewhere, it's not sufficient. It's like an oasis. It's a drop in the bucket.
In the absence
People
of
are angry.
international aids and funds, I mean, the country was hit by COVID. His predecessors admitted that the next government will experience hardship because of XYZ. Can't we appreciate the level of where this president has taken the country? I mean, roads being paved and rehabilitated, there are markets across the country up to its standards as well.
And my answer is a big N-O, no. Both N and O as capital letters.
Why do you say so?
Listen, just the fact that the president alone is offered at $4.3 million, then $700,000 for humanitarian thing. That's not going to projects. Then I just said before you came on the radio that the president pro tem of the Liberian Senate last year made $184,000 when you put his regular salary of $154,000 last year, plus the $30,000 each lawmaker received. He earned last year $184,000. Above the president pro tem of the United States Senate, the donor country, the one that will beg, he made $193,000 last year. Do the math. That's over what? Over $90,000 above what the United States President pro tem received. Is scandalous. And I'm speaking in Liberia at the risk of the American citizens say, you know what? We can't send $1 to that country again. Because it's not that they don't have money, but they mismanage their money, they misallocate their money. They put it to the elites, you know. So somebody said less than 1% of the country is enjoying more than 98% of the income generated from the resources of this country.
That would be expected from an opposition like you.
So I'm saying, but I'm speaking, I didn't create the 184,000. I didn't create that. I didn't create the fact that the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Liberia receives two, and I want them to call on the radio and say I'm lying, right? That the Speaker of the House of Representatives last year received $245,000 as salary, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States received $223,000. I didn't create these facts. It's scientific. It had nothing to do with opposition. I just picked them up and flagged them, and this is a clear example to show that the people lied to us, as Takunje said. That they were going to be concerned about the people. They are down to earth. They were going to be concerned about uplifting the people from abject poverty to a better standard of living. You cannot do that. And President Salif's government did not have the president pro tem and the speaker making that kind of money. So if they say they are not receiving money from the international community, then they should be more frugal than they are. They are engaged in what the economists call conspicuous consumption. Wasteful spending is terrible.
What kind of policy would you like to institute if you are a victor, if you get to win the election?
I like that word if.
When I win.
When I win.
Yeah, so what's the policy prescription in terms of undoing these things?
You know, my focus on improving salaries would be on the civil servants, the nurses, the police officers, to make sure that we have rule of law strengthened. I talk about the teachers, the police, the nurses, and doctors, and these are the civil servants, all civil servants. Yeah. We will improve their salaries because the people who said they were harmonizing. I'm not sure whether the speaker and president pro tem salary were harmonized. They harmonized civil servant salary, and they say it's continually being harmonized. The civil servants who are my clients that I talk to say, we know when we receive something this month, next month we receive a different pay and it drops, it doesn't go up. So the harmonization of the real workers in the government continues, whereas there is elevation in the salary of the elites. That is unfair.
Good plans. You have good plans of improving teachers, police salary, but you've cataloged a lot of misappropriation of resources, talking about corruption and all of that. What if you assume office with broken economy and empty covers? How do you improve salaries when you?
The first thing was set up a commission inquiry. I'm not hiding this. I'm going to set up a commission inquiry to look into all this issue of misappropriation so that proper legal actions can be taken for accountability.
Will it restitute the money?
It will restitute.
Do you think
there will be a recovery program? Because I'm a no-nonsense person when it comes to law. I do not believe that anybody can be placed above the law. And one of my...
It could take you years to do that, to have the money get restituted. And then how will you improve those salaries when you are going through court proceedings in making sure that those who have eaten the fabric of society, have a replenished or restituted? How will you then be operating?
Tax collection will be continuing. LRA will be collecting taxes continuously. And I'm going to remove all these duty-free privileges for the people who make the highest amount of money. The Speaker, the President pro tem, all the lawmakers who are even corrupting our duty-free privileges by giving it to people and making money. We're going to take all that so that LRA can have improved capacity to generate more money.
Too many things to do in 6 years.
Oh, yes.
Are these things achievable?
They are achievable. Let me tell you, I act on track record.
Okay.
When I took over the mantle of the Bar Association, I said I'm going to improve the standard of practice of law in this country. I'm going to make the bar self-reliant. The bar has the capacity to generate its own money and not be begging people. Before I left the bar, it happened. What did I do? I introduced the licensing system for the first time in 112 years of the bar. And let me boast that because of my good leadership, I was the first president of the bar ever from 1907 to host an international conference. It was based on confidence in me that the African bar decided to make Liberia a venue of the 2019 African Bar Convention. And it is still stated today to be the best for a long time.
How did you leave it?
So,
is it the same now?
Yeah. So the rule, we made a rule that before you get this license that I have, you have to pay all your bar dues.
Okay.
You have to pay your license to the government. You have to pay all levies. For example, we imposed a levy of $1,000 on each lawyer for us to build our own headquarters.
Okay.
On each counsel at law, $500 for attorneys at law and $100 for students at law. So when I got there, I and then for the law office $1,000. I paid for my law office, I paid my own, and then before I contested. So that put me in a position now to enforce the law because I was in compliance with our bylaws. Then I set up a committee headed by a senior lawyer, Councilor Siri Jones, and they came up with a very good program. They say they developed a form that you have to fill, and if there's no on any of those things, you don't get your license. Have you paid all your bar dues? Some people are not paid for 10 years. I insisted that you pay, and you don't pay your bar dues. The Supreme Court said you cannot practice law unless you are in good standing with the bar. And the evidence of good standing with the bar is to have license. So now they started dismissing cases of lawyers who didn't have license.
So they were compelled.
They started paying. Some people come to me, counselor, my classmate, I pay for 8 years. Give me 2 months to look for the other money. As counselor law paid $360 per year as bar due. Okay. 8 years money that more than 2,000-3,000. I beg you, give me 2 months. If you don't pay, you will not step to court. Everybody started paying. So we got enough money to host our events. Not only that, and to run the legal aid program that was run by USAID. Okay. When USAID left, we could have closed it if I had not found a way for the bar to be self-reliant. So we carry on legal aid in the 5 counties that USAID were helping us with paying rent and paying post salary and all that and paying lawyers. It continues to today. And then I took $240,000 from the money I generated and build the first floor of the 3-story building that we are designed to build on the Roberts Field Highway. All of these, I did that without asking. I didn't carry a bucket around begging for your come, business for your help. The buyer did it by itself. And I strongly believe when you use the laws and regulations of this country, you can generate enough money.
Holding a license doesn't only speak to best practice as well.
No. You know what happened? Why holding it? That's the beginning.
Okay.
Because you see, before we introduced the license, people just used to take, who can speak good English, some of them can't even speak good English. They wear coat suit, then they go with their grip to tell my judge to be passing. They don't have any law of it. I say, what are you here for? You got a case? You got a case? Let's go sit down they say, you got a case? Let's go sit down in a restaurant and talk about your case. These people were spelling lawyer name, and they could charge more than the law school graduates, trained lawyers, people are not lawyers. Once I introduced the licensing system, all of them disappeared from Temple of Justice, and they disappeared from the courts. So that was the beginning of improving, cleaning up the system by this approach.
Even at the judiciary, the system is rotting as well.
And let me tell you, we were so strong that the Chief Justice and Justices, judges, everybody got their license. You have to be a lawyer first before you become Chief Justice.
Sure.
So everybody pays. Everybody pays. So the system is working well, and because they are paying, they are enforcing the law. They ask lawyer, do you have your DCA license? Let me see it. You don't have your license, don't appear before me. Get out of my court.
And the membership of the Bar Association doesn't reach to a district. And you are trying to be president, you are endeavoring to be president for the country that has 15 political subdivisions and 5 million people. It's a very large number. How do you put it together? How does it relate?
You're talking to someone who had 2 national positions. I was Solicitor General, which means I took care of prosecution in all of the districts of the Republic of Liberia, wherever there are magistrates and the county attorneys. I reformed prosecution. When I got to prosecution, all of the county attorneys, except the one in Monrovia, were non-law school graduates. Some of them were not even high school graduates. I transformed that situation and put only a convinced president that the only time I went to cabinet meeting as Minister of Justice, I told my boss, we have to tell the president that only rule of law can sustain peace. So let's recruit law school graduates to become the attorney. And my boss said, every day in the cabinet, the president will be talking about no money. And my boss said, okay, I can take you along to go explain. I said, yeah. So I went and addressed the cabinet on that one meeting. I got through planning minister at that time, took a marketing and said, I'm convinced. I accept it. Minister after minister, all the ministers said, the Solicitor General is right. We should put that in the budget and recruit law school graduates. And they started paying them $1,200. I recommended 1 twin cabin pickup, 1 generator, 1 laptop, and prosecution fund, so that they can be able to get witnesses for prosecution. The government accepted all without reducing anything. And that is how prosecution got reformed. I'm a dreamer. I dream about things, and then I think about how to do it. And usually it works. I recommended that there were 2 million rape cases in the country in 2007. I recommended the establishment of an SGBV unit. And it made sense, and it was established. Budget was created, and I interviewed the first employees of that agency, that sub-agency of the prosecution before I left. I'm a transformer. When I think about things, I do it. Like when I say I will eliminate illiteracy in Liberia in 2 years, here's the way I say I will do it.
How will you do it?
I will give stipend, government will give stipend to all junior high students, all high school students, and all college students to teach at least 10 illiterate people in their communities after school. It will be an after-school program, just that you have vacation school. And the students will be so motivated to teach so that, they don't lose the little research money they will get every month. Instead of talking to mom and pa, you now start earning your money. And they will develop work habit in young children, even from junior high school. They will be teaching ABC and 1, 2, 3, so that everybody in Liberia can know how to use the phone. It is important because the whole world now goes by phone. I was in a supermarket, Buffalo Candy, and I said, look, if you don't know how to use phone, madam, if I send you text message now with $50 or so, somebody, and you show it because the phone will ring clang, and then they say, when you ring clang, I mean message, I go show you to one little boy. He will say, oh, come to Gongloe, and yes, he finish him on river. He say hello. He will take your $20 from the phone, you will not know. Then she said, oh, that thing happened to me. Oh. My daughter, my own daughter, somebody sent me $15,000 Liberian dollars. My daughter went and took 10,000 and said, man, they sent you 5,000. Then the person will come to visit us. One week before the person came to visit, he said, man, I want to confess. The last time that 15,000 is sent to you, I took 10,000, man, please forgive me. But I said, but if you could read and write, that one will not come to happen to you. You're going to get your own money. Somebody else in Beginner told me the same story. You said that you gave direct, gave directly.
Yeah.
The lady said they sent her own money. Then one little boy, she asked the boy, said, oh, the poor were here the other time. They said they finished him on the river. And took all the money they sent for her. And suddenly they sent the 90,000 or more. Took all that money. The next time she asked somebody was looking at her phone and said, oh man, you received plenty of money. Said, what money? So one boy said the other day the boy just said, hello, I'm here from the boy. I said, the boy finished sending the money. It was gone. If you could read and write that one, that can be happen to us.
So your dream is to make Liberia a literate society?
Yes. That it will make the country function better. Not only that, I intend for every child from kindergarten to 12 to go to school free of charge. Yeah. With government providing everything. I intend for government.
How will you pay the teachers?
We will pay them. There is money.
Being made by President Weah.
There is money in this country.
There are problems in paying teachers' salary structures or professors' salaries now because of free tuition now at University of Liberia and other colleges. Now, so you see how is it? So how will you pay?
Our problem is not money. Our problem is mismanagement of money in this country, misallocation of resources.
Do we have the money?
We do. We do.
Liberia, why are we not as independent as we should be?
Because of poor leadership.
We keep soliciting aid from outside, then doing what they say do from the inside. If you think we have the resources,
the answer is poor leadership, lack of competence, and lack of love of country. That is what is carrying down. Liberia is not a
what needs to be done?
Liberia,
what needs to be done?
Good leadership.
To dig out those positive things that we have. To make us know that yes, we worth what we have, and we have the resources to service all of those things.
You know, I always tell this story. My Ethiopian interpreter, when I worked for Carter Center in Ethiopia, told me one day, Chief, your country is poor by choice. I said, what do you mean?
I like that.
He said, he was working in Greenville as interpreter for the Ethiopian contingent in Greenville, in Sino. And he ate mango, he ate plum, he dropped the seed. After 3 weeks, he was going to use the restroom behind it, and he saw the thing grow, and he yelled, he said, this is heavy on earth. How do you not plant something that grows by itself? He said, I've never seen it anywhere, only in Liberia I see it. So he said, your country is naturally rich. You people are poor by choice. You have a rich soil, fertile. Nobody fertilizes anything in Liberia. Even your backyard garden, you've been making for the last 10 years. You have not used one fertilizer, but the potato green grow. Everything is growing. And then he said that under the soil, you have diamond, you have gold, you have iron ore, you have uranium, you have all kinds of mineral resources. So it's difficult for any development specialist to describe Liberia as a naturally poor country. We are poor because on election day, we take bags of rice, we take money, we take liquor to vote the wrong people in power. As soon as we start voting the right people in power, we will be like Botswana and other countries that are doing so well. And what do they say about Botswana? The least corrupt country in Africa.
Wow.
Well, you're listening to Hot Morning Live. Of course, our guest is Presidential Hopeful Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. He's in conversation with Patrick Eastman out of Uber-Jiba, and we have some national discussion. But Councillor Gongloe,
let me say one more thing before you ask your question.
Yeah.
These people are dumping money in the market right now. This is poverty. They are dumping this money. They are giving $9 million.
Where are they taking it from?
$9
$9 million. You talking about $9 million Liberian dollars?
$9 million Liberian dollars and not US dollar to all. So now the rate will climb up. It's climbing up already. By the end of the week, the rate will be $1.70 to $1 US.
Okay.
By next week, the rice sellers, the oil sellers, all the sellers of the essential commodity will be carrying their prices up so that they can generate enough Liberian dollar in order to buy US dollar. Because right now, today, the buying rate is about 72 or so. So next week, the prices of rice, price of all the essential commodities will go up. Price of even cobalt will go up. When you do that,
That's a bad projection.
it is not. I'm an economist too. That's my first degree. I taught it at the University of Liberia. I don't have to wait for it to
Why are
happen.
you projecting that?
It is going to happen. I don't want people to be surprised. And
You could create panic out there.
but go change your
Especially when you talk about major commodities,
Go
rice,
change
oil,
it.
and this, that.
go change your
You
money.
could create panic.
No, that's the reality. But I don't want to lie to the people and say everything is good. So if you go outside now, the exchange rate.
So how are these monies being infused into our economy? What is it coming from? And in fact,
We need to ask in a country where they talk about $100 million drug and all that drug business. Maybe the money is coming from drugs. We don't know. We don't know where the money is coming from.
Be specific. You should know. You are on top of
I
the
don't know.
Information Council.
What I know is that the money is being given. The source of the money, I don't know where it is coming from, but it is being given by
To
people.
Liberians. To
But
empower them.
It's being given to Liberians
For
by
empowerment.
CDC officials and the government of Liberia.
Is that a party to empower petty traders in, of course, Liberians, struggling Liberians, by giving them loan or aid?
Set up a small and business loan commission. Set up the criteria. Let people apply individually and get it. Don't go throw money like Senator Prince Johnson said the other day, Liberian partner Billy Good. Don't go throw money to people during election time and make their condition so harsh. Because right now in Maryland and other places they are receiving $300 or $350 or whatever. But that $300 or $350 may buy you kobo. But the consequence of that putting plenty of Liberian dollar in the market is that there will be plenty of Liberian dollar chasing few US dollars, which will carry the price of US dollar up, which we call exchange rate. And when it goes up, since we don't produce most of the things that we use in this country, and we have to import them from China and other places, the importers will now come on the market to buy US dollars. And when somebody tell them, oh, my US dollar are 180, they will pay 180 for it. When they pay 180, they will shift that burden to you and me who are consumers. Because the purpose of the business is to make profit, not to lose.
Yeah.
So that's basically the economic effect of this kind of, you're doing good, but you are giving people poison. You're actually killing them gradually, because when they do that, Georgia is a friend of protest. But between now and election, I can predict protest. Why? Because a hungry man is an angry man.
Okay.
So when the rates are going up and cobalt price goes up, right now, people are doing cobalt for sepe. And I told three pricing
Seriously?
Seriously.
You eat today and pay tomorrow?
Yes.
Kobo.
I talk to people. I want to be president like that. No other issue. Go.
Wow.
There are three pricing about cobalt. There are three pricing about kobo now. Go try. There are three pricing about kobo now. It's for sepe. The kobo that one person used to eat it are $200 kobo.
that I agree.
It are $200 kobo.
Is that normal?
You can't get fish tail.
Okay.
One small piece of fish. When at $350 kobo, you get one good fish tail. I know that.
And what's the cause of that? Is it because we have a very troubling economy and poverty is just increasing?
But that poverty is increasing rather than reducing. And you go to Kobo shop now at 2 o'clock. Kobo shop used to be open up to 3. You go there 1:30, they tell you my rice finished. I said, what happened? They said, come on. When you cook plenty of food now, people can't buy, then your food will leave over.
Yeah.
So we cook small, and between 12 and 12:30, when the poor finish, at least you get something. But somebody that, so even When you go to Macklin Street, they, you know, I talk to the market people. When I say, when the person was here, they say, that person dropped in the market. I said, what do you mean drop in the market? He said,
what do you do when you hear these things as a president of people? What do you? Because there's still things that are getting so entrenched in our one politics. Whatever you intend to go out for public position or elected position, the question is, what have you been doing in your private life? What did you do in terms of giving handout and improving the working systems?
I will never talk about what I do.
Why?
As a Christian, let people give. I enjoy, watch my going around the country. Testimonies. People talk things that I don't remember. I do not remember the good I do. And the Bible says when you blow your trumpet, then you pay yourself. All right? So I don't like to talk about it. And if people say I haven't done anything, that's fine. But people come and talk about it. And it's all on the young man's video.
Your name is bigger. Your name is bigger than your party. Not many people know who Councillor Gongloe party or what Councillor Gongloe party is and what party.
Listen to me.
The name is called the cross. Then your political institution. What are you doing to making people know the political institution that you come from?
The Liberian People's Party is one of the older parties in the country. But let me tell you, the result of the three persons who have won election in this country showed that all three of them had bigger names than their party. Charles Taylor's name was bigger than MPP. Ellen Johnson's name was bigger than Unity Party. In fact, she revived Unity Party.
But in the 9 minutes, they were not in the 9 minutes has been for you. Now, we got 5 months to election, yet and still, there are many people don't even know your political party, that your face will be, you'll be on the ballot people with. Many people just know that Councillor Gongloe wants to be president, but not many people know that Councillor Gongloe is going to be on XYZ party. So what are you doing to allow your party to resonate with the people? Because it's quite important for any electoral process or processes.
You know, we have the people who can really popularize parties are the legislative candidates.
Okay.
And so we have legislative candidates all over the country, and they are talking about their party.
Okay.
The presidential candidates usually is their name. You know, then they say, what party you from? Whether in America said with Joe Biden or Trump, before they talk about their party.
No.
Yeah, so so that's what's going on.
Councillor, I want to take you on a bit to this Charlotte Musu case as well.
That's a sad case. I
Yeah.
mean,
what's the take about that and how it is being?
It just shows the government's incompetence and a high level of dishonesty. What if you don't find anything? Say, look, sometimes investigation will go on for a year or more. If you don't find anything, say it. Don't create all kinds of impressions. And they are carrying on some spurious rumors. That the woman who killed her own daughter. How do you compound somebody's grief?
There's news about all being arrested.
When?
Might get arrested.
When?
In anytime soon.
There's been speculated.
Yeah, there's the news of former Chief Justice.
That's not true, man. That's not true. I called the other day when somebody put something on the Facebook.
She might get arrested after the report.
They say she's running away, and I call her, and I can say this because it's official. I call the Minister of Justice, and I say, "What? Say, I've not even received a report from the police."
Yeah.
So if because they said they tried to pin the Minister of Justice in that Facebook, but the Minister of Justice is trying to, you may have seen it, is trying to help the former Chief Justice to escape. So I called both of them, and he said, "But I've never even seen a report. Why people can be like this?" You know. So, and I think that speculate. Nobody is above the law, but people have to be sensitive to maintaining the peace. And maintaining the peace is about remaining truthful and not acting on prejudice, not concocting anything, because everybody is connected to a population base. And people get anger sometimes collectively based on how you treat one of them. But if there's truth in anything, it can disarm anyone who even want to rise up against government and say, but this is true. This length of time that is taking, look at this government. What has happened to the arm that was discovered?
Up to now,
I haven't heard anything about it. And this is serious. We in opposition are really concerned that arms, automatic rifles, very powerful weapons were discovered. They are in the hands of the government. Nothing is said about it. And now people will try to draw a conclusion that, oh, it's meant if there's, during election time, if people rise up against by-election results to start killing people and all that, people will speculate.
What do you do in that particular direction as an opposition figure?
I'm calling upon them to do what they took oath to do, to obey, defend, promote, execute the laws.
Is this scary?
Why are we paying police officers if they cannot reach a conclusion? In modern day, it should not take even 2 days to reach a conclusion on who is owning an arm or who is trafficking in one weapon, because every weapon has a serial number. They are produced at a factory. If you do a trace of chain of custody, you will get to who got it where. We are talking about modern day, my people. So
investigation takes time.
No, not in modern days. What we have, how you think run through IT, you using phone, people can trace you.
We are backward when it comes to technology. Sir.
No. We can seek assistance from the United States.
Let me take you a little bit, Councillor Gongloe.
Let's do it. If we are serious about doing it, we can do it.
Let me take you a little bit. I'm quite sure before venturing into when you are into it was based on the country you come from, a very serious populated country, a country that has serious population, and so you saw it as a base of using your county to extend or expand your tentacles to other counties. Now, there's this news about one of your kingsmen, one of the kingmen, going on one of your opposition political parties, taking as a vice standard bearer, as a running mate. What do you think is going to do if it happens? What do you think is going to do to your political bid, your presidential bid, comes October 10? That is in person of Jeremiah Kuhn going as the running mate to former Vice President Joseph Boakai. With that hampers your election, your elected position, or your intention of being, or your interest of being the president next time?
It will do nothing negative to my chance of becoming president. It will enhance it.
Support base?
No, it will enhance it. If he was running for the presidency, then perhaps we'll talk about that. But Nimba is looking for a president. Since they lost the chance of producing a president in 1985 with Jackson Abdul. And everywhere I go in Nimba, they see a Jackson Doe in me, because Jackson Doe served as minister in the executive branch of government. He had national appeal because he was going over the country as Minister of Education. The whole country knew him. I have been Minister of Law, I've been Solicitor General, I've gone beyond. I've been president of all the lawyers in the country, and I've been a human rights advocate. Every household in this country know my name, except my face, and that is the reason why I went around the country. So the people are very, very happy. They fire up to vote for me, because we are traditionally there to, at least me and my nephew will not be competing for the same job. So
have you gotten the blessing from the political godfather of the country?
Listen to me. The political godfather has his own party. He's going that way. I can tell you that the history has shown that the Nimba people don't always vote for the person that he wants. In 2005, he campaigned for George Weah, along with many other people. Me and Dr. Cotto campaigned for President Salib, and we won in the second round. So, he doesn't have, people vote for him, but he doesn't show a hand and they vote the way he does. So
he made a lot of lawmakers in 2009.
Not lot, please. Lot means no more than not lot. So let me tell you this. Nimba, everywhere you go in Nimba, in fact, they were threatening me, better not hear about you and Vice President Biden, but more than that, Nimba people say, look, we had Vice President Dogoli. we had Vice President blah. We've been there already. It is presidency that we have not had. And when we had the two vice presidents, nothing happened here. Because vice president had to go consult with the president for anything to happen in Nimba. We won. We have been laddered for other people to clamor for long. That's the word they use in Butu. I call it. She said, what happened to Nimba women? Our Jamaican born president too. We want president. The one man Anikwa said in Butu when I went there. And every day she come, I'm not here, Vice President Beno. God will bless you. I went to Jacksonville town. I was blessed there. They gave me a traditional blessing. Jacksonville town is called Globally. I've been there twice. And they're very happy that I recognize them. Because you know, when a great song comes from you and something happens, like you become abandoned. Going around as one of the things I like history and I like tradition. Look, I went to Jacksonville town. I slept in, when I went to Grand Jida, I made sure I went to Tucson. When I got to Tucson, I was so happy that as a presidential aspirant coming from Nimba, I went to Tucson because I couldn't go to all the towns in Grand Jida, but a few towns I went to Tucson and said, you sleep here. I slept there. They danced the whole night. They were overexcited that I went there. They danced the whole night. They cooked food. My delegation ate and food left over. I went to Pinestown. And you may know, you're young to know, but Pinestown is the home of the late General Thomas Wesson.
Okay.
I went there and they were very happy that I went there.
Is that an assurance?
I went, yeah.
The number?
This is about leadership. And people are encouraged if you recognize them and go to them for power. I have not gone to the county capitals like others. Many people in Liberia, they leave from River to go to San Nicolas, Ganta, Campley, Ban, Saclipé, Tapeta. I went to 110 towns. No presidential aspirant ever done that. I don't even think Senator Kennedy have done that. So I've gone everywhere. I slept in Kuangpa's town, General Kuangpa's town, Zozwale.
That is different from standing in queues and casting of ballots.
No, look, there are some people, my message is clear. And I can tell you, I've been to towns where I've been told, that our people in America say more vote for. There are people in America telling them, you don't vote for Councilor Gongloe.
There are the same people in America and Liberia now soliciting funds to support Jeremiah Kuhn.
Well, maybe they will do, but I am telling you.
They are raising their own money.
There's this news.
I'm very optimistic about my chances in Nimba.
Yeah.
And there have been nothing to undermine that optimism.
Many people think.
In fact, it will be clearer tomorrow if it is announced that Nimba put no at least we know the president that we want. We got one person to vote for to be president now. So, he's my nephew because his mother comes from Nimba and his father comes from Saino. So he's a nephew. By tradition, nephew can fight uncle. So he did want to take vice president position so he can be seen.
Many people think your delay in announcing your running mate is because you intend to.
I don't care what you do. You're not going to smoke me out.
You intend to go second to somebody else, one of the parties, maybe to go.
Now you come and make me angry.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
There is nobody in this presidential race that can show his level of sacrifice. In fact, none of them has sacrificed anything for Liberia. None. They're looking for a position. Me, I'm trying to be a manager to change Liberia's story. I'm not looking for a job. None of them, not Bwaka, not Cummings, not George Weah, has sacrificed anything for this country. In the worst time of this country, when we were under the one-party rule, three-party rule, we were going to jail. And I'm calling all the progressives not to scatter themselves in all these parties. The people in United Party, in ANC, all the progressives are seen with suspicion because they are critical people. They better come home. Because this is a chance for the progressives to take power and teach Liberian people how to govern in a democratic society. Because we know about freedom of expression. We know how to disagree. We know how to promote people's right to speak freely so that they can lead the process of government even from the back.
So how can you say that when these people also made their own contribution contributions
Nobody-
in different ways.
No-
President, we are playing
no,
for
no.
the national team. That is a contribution to the country.
Joseph
Walker served.
I didn't use the word contribution. I said
The sacrifice. That was a
There's
sacrifice.
a difference
At the
between
time, we asked
there is
our
a
team.
difference between contribution and sacrifice.
So that is a sacrifice. President, we are playing for the national team on countless occasions, and he went through challenges. That is also doing a sacrificial job. Joseph Yoba Boakai also contributed to this country, and he sacrificed in terms of line of functions and duties, serving governmental positions back in the days. How will you
Go
say?
ahead, you finish. What are your comments?
How will you say?
Talk about comments too now.
How will you say? How will you say these
Two out of the
did not
many
sacrifice? I did 2 out of 3. So
comments didn't sacrifice.
no, I cannot speak to that.
Comments didn't contribute.
I cannot speak to that.
Okay, so you don't know that comments contributed. So
No, let's get into
so
that.
comments
The
guys
other
know.
2 also sacrificed.
Let me tell you, sacrifice is what Zelensky is doing in Ukraine. Sacrifice means denying yourself of comfort, taking risk, security risk with your life, not for yourself, but for other people. Why do we go to school? We go to school to work. So working is not a contribution. In fact, you were privileged to get a job. Joe Boakai was privileged under the three-party government to get a job and be assigned as head of LPPC in Lofa County. And then from there, while we were challenging one-party state and the autocratic governance under three-party, Joe Boakai was enjoying the spoiled system. All right? He never opened his mouth one day to speak against anything that happened in society. Even when Dr. Wolokoli and them were going to jail in this country, he didn't say a word. Although Joe Boakai was trying to be NDPL vice president at the time there was military repression, he never spoke a word. He got a job with FPFC. He was privileged to be Minister of Agriculture. Although those are all privileges that people even much educated than him did not have. So that's privilege. They're not contribution. They're not sacrifice. George Weah, the credit goes to Doe. He has failed to do for the Liberian young people what Doe did for him and others. Doe organized a very elaborate and very good football program in this country. He used to, he had passion for football and encouraged footballers. He used to put them in open top car, drive them himself to the airport. The place that he built is for the 7-story building now, and the place that is the place that Doe gave to as a gift to the players when they won one game, I think Ghana or Nigeria. And he gave it to them. I understand he has bought it from all his friends, and he built his elaborate estate there. And so playing football and going up, of course, you're making money and going up. They're not sacrifice. He himself said that every money that, for example, he gave to pay for Lone Star to travel, he was refunded. You know, so they're not contribution there. I think it's in Ranish's book, that way I read.
Okay, so we gotta go to the lines. We've talked a lot. It's time we have the public.
So let me tell you, sacrifice what I did. 1978, I went to jail for freedom of expression so that you people can speak freely.
Okay.
We opposed the government for declaring the day a holiday for Jamaica to visit for 1 or 2 hour visit, and I was put in jail. Along with company we said Justin Wolokoli, Jamona Stewart, Cabo Wisner Sano, and William Wilson.
So
and it was announced on the radio, 6 student leaders in jail. People were afraid, man. I was the only person going to college from my whole district. People were afraid those days. Not many people were going to college. And then I was beaten on LU campus on a door 1984 when Sawyer was in jail for speaking for people, for freeing journalists from jail. Honor Taylor, I was the #1 lawyer in this country, freeing a lot of people from jail. Noel Flomo case with Liberian women in
So you want a reward politically now?
And so, no, I'm not asking for a reward. I'm just saying I'm tired.
To bring the change. You want to bring the real change.
Advocating. If you say you can cook well, you can cook palm butter well.
Yeah.
And then every day you cook something. Yeah. You say they want to get rum and stomach, not good the pepper, not all right. You don't put enough maggi cube and all that. And you say you can do it right. Get in the kitchen and cook because it's easy to criticize. I want to get it and show how to. You see, I've been in government, I speak against corruption. Not many people who have been in government who can speak the way I speak. I have dared people.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it today. From Cape Town to Cape Town, I dare anybody to say one Councillor Gongloe serve as Solicitor General, Minister of Labor, or as Special Assistant, Executive Assistant to the President. So he stole 1 cent from government. I disciplined myself. You know why I did it? Because people used to say when at the university and criticizing, you're just talking when you're getting government, you'll do the same thing. Every morning I used to think about that and say, I will not cross the line. I used to pray to God. I said, God, help me to resist the temptation of crossing a line that I shout at other people for. And that is why I want to take the president and set a new standard, for governance in this country.
You need to collaborate with others as well to help you achieve that.
Yeah, but the collaboration, you know where we are? Vaga and Nime is running me tomorrow, right? Now, collaboration will collaborate on getting a proper election, the integrity electoral process. Because right now, all the parties have the representative candidate and senatorial candidates, right? Collaboration does not mean president and vice president.
No.
It means horse trading. If, for example, I'm collaborating with Unity Party, and they have a senator from a county who is an incumbent, you have to say, oh, but then I can't put senatorial candidate against the person. Yeah. Then give me that other county. Yeah. That detailed discussion, I posted out for weeks and maybe even a month to detail. And I even talk about how you will form the government, how you will run the government, different things. They might even say when you want to dismiss my own party president from government, please let me know. All that one that we saw some of. You know, collaboration is good for winning, but it is inherently corrupt. We saw it with the transitional government, interim government, with Warren Fashion not having loyalty to the government, but having loyalty to the different factions in government.
Let's go to the line, Councillor Gongloe. All right, Councillor Gongloe is our guest. He's presidential hopeful. He comes from LPP, and he's been talking on a wide range of issues on your morning platform, Hot Morning Live. Let's take some calls. Speak to the time. 1 minute per call. Good morning.
Good morning, Patrick, and good morning, Uber.
Good morning.
Let me say good morning to the area from the Tiawan Gongloe. My name is Coach Sherry, and this morning I'm part of this conversation from my New Jersey resident. I talked with almost all of the things that have been said by Councillor Gongloe. No, actually, this country only needs somebody with honesty. And I strongly believe that Councillor Gongloe comes to the discourse of integrity and honesty and proven public record. And then somebody who I believe can move this country in the right direction. But this is the issue. Concerning our voting pattern and the vulnerability of our society. Okay. Actually, to have Councillor Gongloe elected at this critical point in our history, it's not very difficult, but all I do.
You doubt him ascending to the presidency this time.
Yeah, I believe he will be a very, very good president. But I'm concerned with the voting party and the voting proposition.
Okay, thank you, Seko. Thank you.
One question for the Gongloe. I will ask one question quickly. Concerning if you do not make it to the second round, will you actually support an opposition or a establishment trend?
Okay, thank you, Sekou. Let me go there and take another caller on this Skype. Good morning. What's the name and where you call from?
Good morning. Blamo, I call from Cover.
Go ahead, Blamo. Go ahead.
I'm listening to your speaker, and I want to remind you on something. Something you said that Honorable Baba benefited from our sports system. We see himself benefiting from our sports system. Councillor Gongloe people are responsible to do a lot of massive education in this country today. Because of what you guys did at the University of Labrador, every now and then protesting, contesting, doing all this stuff today, it got trickled down internally.
You think his protest on the campuses of the University of Labrador was not in good faith?
It was not in good faith. That was a bad example today because of what it did. Our students are following the city. We can't go to the University
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's go back to line 1. This person, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you, please.
Yeah, I came to call for putting a platform. My job was doing my thing.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, and I took you for my district for the resident. Yeah, listen to your case. I have a recommendation. Come the day of election for city. When you shall, yeah, for sure. Yes, now that's when for the one round. I want you to prepare the second round support in particular in my podcast.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's take another person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
We are doing great. What's your name and where have you called from?
Thank you so much. This is Robert Noakulu, and I called from District 17. And let me good morning to the councilman in Stephen. What I want to find out from this is we have had
Oh, your line is coming in back.
you getting me now?
You come
Yes.
here, broken.
Okay, but you're getting me now?
Yeah.
Okay. And since the councillor, we got a whole lot of political parties in this country. They have been here. Some are dead and buried already. But I just want to find out for him if he ever worked in any of those political parties to make them look better so that the people can accept. 1. 2, now that you are coming, you say you want to get into the presidency, you being a councillor, we know your handwork in the legal sector, we know. But in politics, no, we don't know it. We are not seeing it. And now you come in. You don't think it would be better that you link with any of the old political parties or any of the organized political parties already so that we can make it better instead of having millions of political parties and everything just going up and down. So you're talking about the old man. He had never talked. But this man will get to see his hammer.
Okay.
That is his behavior.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me hold you there and take another person. You have elapsed your 1 minute. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ogachiba.
Good morning. What's your name and where you call from?
Oh, my name is Aaron Timur, calling from Quebec.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to ask him. I really enjoy your show. Yeah, I got a little question from the Leonard Councilor. I just want to say thank you. But I got 2 questions. If you don't make it to win, a broadcast association put you as justice minister, will you accept? If you become the president, the nationality of what we did, will you reverse it and the people to do to pay for what he did?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's go back to line 1 and take another person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name and where have you called from?
Yeah, I'm Umaru Tolocha Zulu calling from District 14, Kawasan.
Go ahead, strictly to the point.
Yeah, I want to ask the council.
Oh, too bad. I'm so afraid. I don't know why you left the line, but let's take another person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
I'm Ali Kone, I'm calling from Togo community.
to the point.
Yeah, let me say thank you very much. The councilor has made my day this morning. These are people we want in our community, or let's just say country. Yeah, because the councilor is someone who people trust in and say he's been working in government for a lifetime. He have not seen, you can't hear no bad record for him. So we trust him. Thank you for the show.
Thank you so much. Let's go back to line 3 and take another person. Good morning. What's your name and where have you called from? Hello, good morning. That person seems not to be ready. I don't know what's going on, but let's take a few more calls and we'll go back to Councillor Gongloe to respond to your questions and concerns this morning. Hot Morning Live, 0770-107-107 and 086-107-107 are the numbers to call and participate. Back to line 1. Good morning.
Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning.
Okay, thank you for the show. Interesting. I'm rousing now, Chloe now recording from Bombing.
Okay, you live from Bombing.
Yeah. Listen to Council Gongloe. This story here, you can't see surprise on one person at a time. He being a councilor, why you are going for the justice system before you want to pick the ballot now? You can't put the grading, the total grading on the bureau from it. It's for the rival to the time. Only by your government.
So you have anything that you know is contradicting what he did?
No, I ain't
way, anything about him. But
Oh,
what I'm
but
saying
yes.
to him, yeah, he should put it right on it by your government. Put it.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me take another person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you call from?
I'm John Peter, calling from Oro.
Go ahead. You live from Oro.
Thank you very much for the program. But Liberia's story is very sad. It seems that we just don't like good people. Because I've been following the entire political trend in Liberia. But for me to hear that old man Boaka want to choose a man like Jeremiah Kuhn, whose character is thinker, and will leave all the good people. A man like Gongloe, who is clean, very, very, very clean. Everyone says Gongloe. If you believe,
No, but get it straight. Get it straight. Get it straight, because Gongloe doesn't want to be running mate to any party. He doesn't want to be running mate. He said clearly that he wants the presidency. In fact, he doesn't want to go second to anybody.
I know government is open to collaboration, but it depends on the decree. It's depends on how it's going to be set up, because one guy cannot just sit down and he's not speaking, he's not talking. You understand? Look at what he did to Heron Costa. Look at what he did to other people. Costa is more qualified than Kuhn. And if you will leave Costa and go and say Kuhn, if this thing without going anywhere, it's an indication that probably Joey could go right by.
So you were anticipating a Gongloe pick.
Look, what I'm trying to say is that I think you should put Butler on the skill to see what kind of man he is, because I don't think Butler's a good man. But if Butler's a good man, I think you can listen to the radio show all along. Everybody got Gongloe. And Butler failed to read out the Gongloe. He even lied or come into the court.
Thank you.
That's not fair.
Thank you. Let's hold you there and take another person. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. That person seems not to be ready. Let's take another one. Good morning. Oh, you need to stop this. Lower your monitor.
Sorry, I've done that already.
Yeah. Go ahead. You're the final caller.
Okay, thank you for that opportunity. My name is Kwani. I'm calling you from Breville.
Yeah, go ahead.
But let me be honest with you. If old man Boaka, the Honorable Boaka, should make that mistake, I consider it as a mistake to choose Jeremiah Kuhn over Yomble Kanga.
Everybody pushing that injury.
It's gonna be a setback. I don't have like it's the interest. It's the country.
No. You can speak for the country. Are you the country spokesman?
I'm not part of the country. It's against the country.
My man, say what you want to say. Other people would also disagree to your exception.
That's not right. I'm just saying, if he should make that mistake, it's going to be a blow for him.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let's focus on our conversation. We have our guests there. We'll go back to Councillor Gongloe to respond to some of the concerns and questions.
Somebody asked whether I would support the ruling party or the opposition. They are concluding that in the end, the election will not be won on first round, and the second round will actually be between an opposition party and a ruling party. That may not be the case. Okay. It might be between two opposition parties. But really? so clearly. So I insist and maintain that Darrell Dillon 2-time win in Monrovia was a clear dismissal of George Ray, a clear rejection. And I think that is going all over the country, and with the American ambassador press statement. If I were the government, I would not even respond. But by responding, they are keeping it in the press, and it's going to go against them because the reality on the ground goes against them. Mm-hmm. Public Relations 001 will tell you, don't keep negative thing about yourself in the press, and the way you keep it is by responding to it. So they shot themselves in the foot already. So when we reach that bridge, we'll cross it. Let's somebody say the protest we did at University of Liberia in the 70s and going to jail is what caused the trouble today. Even in America, everywhere in the world, where there's democratic society, people do protest. We have to, most times you journalists have to educate people that the only thing we oppose is violent protest, but people have a right to assemble. It's a constitutional right that we exercise, so there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody say,
if Waka wins and put you as Justice Minister, will you accept?
yeah, that. And I said, and somebody asked me, you see the one I can go to Tasha, because all these questions have been asked before. I strongly hate being recycled in positions. I've been a minister. I strongly believe that there are so many librarians who are qualified. I'm a assistant professor of law. We're training lawyers, and some brilliant lawyers are coming up. They too must have their chances to serve government. You know, I've seen some funny thing happen in the country where some boy have been minister, then another government can appoint a deputy minister to go into that position. And I tell people, if you want, you know, me to be a deputy minister, you say $30,000 a month, I will not take it. I will not take it. I've been a minister. I've been a member of the cabinet. I don't want to be a member of cabinet again at this age. I was a member of cabinet younger than now. I want to take over the helm of government to set things straight in this country to improve the standard of governance. I'm not looking for a job. You know, if I'm looking for a job, President Salib offered me to be Associate Justice in 2006. I said, I'm not interested. I want to be Solicitor General, basically so that when people speak against you, they don't go to jail. As I was releasing Sanombo and other journalists, the late stand-up people and all these people. So I chose to be Solicitor General. She said, okay, I'll appoint you. And that's why one day, Moba Molukim, I hear you looking for me to arrest me. I said, who told you? I'm a defender of free speech. And so, you express yourself. That's it. One day, somebody in government came to me, you heard what they said last night on Radio Verita? I said, what is that? Friends said, well, other will lie on the president. I said, so? What do you mean, so? You know, people are not used to freedom of expression. I said, sir, if 1,000 people say that President Saleh is the most beautiful woman in this country, 10,000 people have a right to say they have never seen a woman so ugly. And those two diametrically opposed statements have a right to equal protection, what they call freedom of expression.
Hey, it is happening under this regime.
Yeah, so I'm not here to promote the regime. What I can
you should be able to say the reality.
No. You see, when people be asking what a good thing the government has done, this government has Ministry of Information, it has LBS, it has Public Relations Officer in every ministry. So we come to point out the thing that they don't see.
I didn't ask you for the good of the government. I only said freedom of speech. You mentioned that and said freedom of speech is also taking place under this regime. They have boasted about that over the time. They boasted that there's also no political prisoner.
Yeah, but freedom of speech can make them beat up students. They get angry to go beat up students. They do all kinds of things. So one attribute of accepting freedom of speech is not to react in a brutal way. And of course, he takes credit for the Katamba. The Kamara. I drafted that act under President Saleh when I was Solicitor General in 2009. And I was really not happy that she didn't take credit by getting it passed. That one of the things that he did in his first year, I think that the only positive thing I can really, you did that in your first year, 2018. And I strongly believe that if you had not done it, it would have been difficult for you to do it now because of the level of criticism. But even that, some government officials don't even know that law is there. Because you remember Monikapa Dumoy, a few years ago, I think it was 2020, he was arrested. And I went there. And the police said he committed sedition. I said, you senior police officer don't know that the legislature already repealed this law. If this thing was happening in Fubadi or so, I can understand, but you're right here. The lawmaker, the legislature is just walking distance from you. They passed that law, and you are violating. They had to release him. They said, oh. I said, yeah, you brought down sedition, and I was big man in the police. The other thing, yeah, so he said, you want to be justice minister? I'm not interested in being minister anymore. In any government, I don't care who is that person. I can advise, but I cannot be a minister again. I'm teaching at law school. That's what I would do. So there's not. Somebody talk about old LPP, whether I have to improve with other political parties. That person does not know LPP is an old political party. It was established in 1984. It was banned because President Doe felt like it was powerful. LPP and UPP were banned and they didn't participate in the 1985 election. So they are not new political parties, but the individuals can make party popular. Now LPP, before the election, will be a household word. Everyone will be talking about LPP because my 10-point agenda for transformation of Liberia, for a better Liberia, is attractive all over the country.
Are you receiving calls from these political actors to include folks in
A lot of people are afraid of me.
Have you received a call from them?
From who?
From people in government, the CDC, or the Unity Party? Or
Well, the only thing I hear about from seditions in the leadership, I must say, it was funny. One of them say, Councillor Gongloe can be shooting us out, but we are reluctant to really hit at you because we feel we'll be ungrateful because when we're in opposition, you don't want you to release us from police station and magistrate go every day, and we didn't pay you for free. So we can't be attacking the other people. The other people, we attack them, but you are loyal. Yeah, you are loyal. So I laughed. And that's what they said.
Okay, we gotta go. You want to have a party?
No, I just want to tell Liberian people this time they must not think about copper rice. Burger rice, money, and liquor. Liberia is a rich country. On election day, we vote for rice and not good governance, and then suffer for 6 years. This time we should do it differently. You see, there's a third time I appear, fourth time I'm appearing on a public radio, and seditions are not called. They used to call it Councillor Gongloe for 2029, but they are now convinced by the strength of what I'm saying.
Okay.
And everything the American ambassador said, I said before. The Julia Jackson said on a radio, but they think Councillor Gongloe be saying, I went in the interior. And I think when I become president, I'll tell all my people you're going into and see the condition, the poor, experience it. Then you can govern better. Thank you very much.
Okay.